Welcome back to Only Talk Sports. So we talk sports every single day, or at least we try to. I'm Roast Jeffrey, and subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Hit that notification bell so you never miss another video. Now, for most people, the biggest football game of the year is coming up this Sunday. It's Super Bowl LVII between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles. Who do I think is going to win this Super Bowl? Let's break it down. Now, the Kansas City Chiefs are 16-3 this year, and they've had a great season under Andy Reid. Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid have been a dynamic duo. And for years, they've been one of the best teams in the NFL, and they've been able to get back to the Super Bowl this year, even with Patrick Mahomes being injured in the playoffs this year. But they found a way to win anyway, and now they're back in the Super Bowl. And you look at some of the biggest games for the Chiefs this year. They won at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers earlier in the season, 41-31. That was a big road win there. Then the Kansas City Chiefs won at the San Francisco 49ers, 44-23. That was a big one as well. But then they lost at the Cincinnati Bengals, 27-24. That was a really tough loss for the Chiefs. But then in the NFL division round, they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, 27-20, and that was a really big win over Trevor Lawrence for Kansas City. And then in the AFC Championship game, they got revenge on the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Kansas City Chiefs beat them 23-20 to now be back into the Super Bowl. And this is Patrick Mahomes' third Super Bowl. He's won a Super Bowl and he's lost a Super Bowl, and now he has a chance to get his second Super Bowl ring. And quarterback Patrick Mahomes this postseason has been fantastic, even through injury. He's 51-73 for 521 yards and 4 touchdowns and 16 rushing yards. But most importantly, he has no interceptions. He does have one fumble that he suffered in the Cincinnati Bengals game, but he's had a really great postseason, and as long as his ankle holds up in this Super Bowl, he'll have a really good chance to win. Running back Isaiah Pacheco is 22 attempts for 121 yards and 6 receptions for 65 yards. He's been a big surprise this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. The 7th round pick out of Rutgers. He's definitely overperformed all expectations that people have for him in his rookie year, and he's been great for the Chiefs this season. And tight end Travis Kelce has 21 receptions for 176 yards and 3 touchdowns. I don't know what more needs to be said about Travis Kelce. He's one of the best tight ends in NFL history. He can catch the ball so well for the tight end position, and he's been a great target for Patrick Mahomes all these years. And wide receiver Marquez Valdes-Scantling has 7 receptions for 122 yards and 2 touchdowns. He stepped up with a lot of the Chiefs receivers being injured this postseason, and he's been playing really well. And wide receiver Kadarius Toney has 6 receptions for 45 yards, and wide receiver Juju Smith-Schuster has 3 receptions for 36 yards. Both Kadarius Toney and Juju Smith-Schuster are questionable for this game, but if they're able to play for the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl, it would really help out the Chiefs offense. And on the defensive side of the ball, linebacker Nick Bolton has 14 total tackles, 7 solo tackles, and a fumble recovery. Cornerback L'Jarius Sneed, who is questionable for this game, has 10 tackles and 7 solo tackles, and safety Justin Reed has 13 total tackles and 12 solo tackles. And the Kansas City Chiefs, while they're one of the best teams in the NFL, is that they're really good on both sides of the ball. Their defense is one of the better defenses in the NFL, and the Chiefs' offense is fantastic, headed by Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs don't really have any glaring weakness. Yes, there are a few things that the Chiefs aren't great at, but overall, they're a solid team, and they do a lot of things well on both sides of the ball. Now, on the Philadelphia Eagles side, they're 16-3 as well, just like the Kansas City Chiefs. And Nick Sirianni's done a fantastic job this year with the Philadelphia Eagles. Coming into this season, a lot of people thought that the Eagles would be an improved team with Jalen Hurts at quarterback. They have definitely overperformed expectations this year, and they've had a great season, and now the Philadelphia Eagles are in their first Super Bowl since 2017, and this is the first Super Bowl that Jalen Hurts has ever been in. And you look at some of the biggest results for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. They beat the Minnesota Vikings 24-7 early on in the season, and that was a big win to boost the Philadelphia Eagles' confidence further down the stretch of the season. Then the Eagles beat the Dallas Cowboys 26-17, and getting those wins were huge for the Philadelphia Eagles' confidence and also to boost up their seeding for the playoffs, which they end up getting a number 1 seed because they won all these big games. Then the Philadelphia Eagles did lose at the Dallas Cowboys 40-34. It's tough to beat a team twice, and they were not able to get that win on the road. But then in the NFL division round in the playoffs, the Philadelphia Eagles beat the New York Giants 38-7, and that was a big win. The Giants came off a big win themselves over the Minnesota Vikings, but then they played the Philadelphia Eagles, and they couldn't even get close to winning that game. And then the Philadelphia Eagles beat the San Francisco 49ers 31-7 in the NFC Championship game. And yes, Brock Purdy did get hurt, but even if he wasn't hurt, it would have been really tough for the 49ers to win that game. The Philadelphia Eagles played really well, but it probably would have been a closer game if Brock Purdy had not have gotten hurt. And quarterback Jalen Hurts has had a great season for the Philadelphia Eagles this year. He's been playing almost at an MVP level. He's been great all year. And in the postseason, he's 31 of 49 for 275 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 73 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns. He hasn't had to do too much in the first 2 games in the postseason because of the fact that Philadelphia Eagles were up by a lot. But Jalen Hurts is going to have to throw the ball much more in this game against the Kansas City Chiefs if they're going to want to win. But Jalen Hurts has been great all year. His dual threat ability is what makes him so special. And he's gotten a lot better at throwing throwing the ball since he's been in the NFL. But Jalen Hurts is going to have to stay healthy as well in this game because he's been banged up toward the end of the season. But if his health is near 100%, it will really help out the Philadelphia Eagles win this game. And running back Kenneth Gainwell has 26 attempts for 160 yards and a touchdown and 3 receptions and 35 yards. And running back Miles Sanders has 28 attempts for 132 yards and 2 touchdowns and a reception for 3 yards. And unlike the Kansas City Chiefs, the Philadelphia Eagles have 2 running backs that they use in a variety of different ways. Miles Sanders and Kenneth Gainwell are both fantastic running backs, and it's going to be really tough for the Kansas City Chiefs to stop both of them. Wide receiver Devontae Smith has 8 receptions for 97 yards and a touchdown. He's had a great season this year in the NFL. Now that Jalen Hurts has become a better passer, he has really benefited from it, and he's one of the best young receivers in the NFL. Tight end Dallas Goedert has 10 receptions for 81 yards and a touchdown so far this postseason. He's a really good tight end. He's been a great target for Jalen Hurts. And wide receiver A.J. Brown has 7 receptions for 50 yards, and A.J. Brown was a big acquisition for the Philadelphia Eagles from the Tennessee Titans in the offseason. He has definitely helped out Devontae Smith get a lot more single coverage because now you have to worry about Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown, and A.J. Brown is one of the best receivers in the NFL. And on the defense side of the ball, safety C.J. Gardner-Johnson has 8 total tackles and 5 solo tackles, and linebacker Hassan Reddick has 8 total tackles, 6 solo tackles, 3.5 sacks, a forced fumble, and a fumble recovery. And the Philadelphia Eagles have a stout defense, and that is what has helped them win so many games this year. And their offense has been really good, and Jalen Hurts has definitely improved on offense this year, and that has improved the Eagles' offense overall. But the Philadelphia Eagles' defense has been the key that's helped them win a lot of big games this year, but they are solid on both sides of the ball. So who do I think is going to win Super Bowl 57? This game is in Glendale, Arizona, so obviously it's a neutral field. You're not going to have really an advantage one way or the other in this game. I'm sure there are going to be plenty of Chiefs and Eagles fans at this game, even though Kansas City is closer to Glendale, Arizona than Philadelphia. But for the Chiefs, you have Andy Reid, who has all the experience in the world in the NFL, and that is key. He has been in these big moments before, and he's got Patrick Mahomes, who's already won a Super Bowl, and that's going to help him have the experience and the knowledge to know how to win a big game like this. But Patrick Mahomes' health is key. If he is not 100%, that could be really bad for the Kansas City Chiefs, especially in the second half if his ankle starts to hurt more and more as the game goes along. But the Kansas City Chiefs also need the receivers back as well. If Kadarius Toney and Juju Smith-Schuster and Mecole Hardman are all not available in this game, it really limits the receiving core, but I do think some of them will be returning in this game. The Chiefs have a great defense, and I think they'll be able to slow down the Philadelphia Eagles a good bit in this game. But the Philadelphia Eagles have the heart and the fight to want to win this game. Nick Sirianni, no, he does not have the experience of Andy Reid, but he's done a great job as the Philadelphia Eagles head coach this year. And Jalen Hurts does not have the experience of Patrick Mahomes, but Jalen Hurts is a winner. He did a great job in college at Oklahoma and Alabama, so he knows how to win big games. And Jalen Hurts has been playing better and better this season than he's ever had before in the NFL. His throwing's much better, and he can run the football at an elite level, and it's going to be really tough for the Kansas City Chiefs to be able to hone in on that and stop it. But I think that Jalen Hurts' health is key as well. If he's not 100% in this game, it's really going to hurt the Philadelphia Eagles as well, because Jalen Hurts has not really had to do much in the first 2 postseason games for the Eagles because they've been able to win so easily. So he's going to have to show more of his arsenal in this game if they're going to be able to win. But I do think that Jalen Hurts will be able to throw and run the ball well in this game. And the Philadelphia Eagles have a great running game with Kenneth Gainwell, Miles Sanders, and that's going to be really tough for the Kansas City Chiefs defense to stop as well. And I think that the Philadelphia Eagles have a great defense. Their defense is one of the best in the NFL, and it's going to be really tough for the Kansas City Chiefs to get easy yards on the Philadelphia Eagles because they do not allow easy yards. But I think this is going to be a really close, hard-fought game, but I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-28. I think the Philadelphia Eagles can win this game again. They're going to be a team that's going to have a lot of heart and hustle and want to be able to win their first Super Bowl with Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni, and I think they're going to play really hard in this game, and I think that the Philadelphia Eagles will be able to give the Kansas City Chiefs offense a lot of fits, and I think that the Philadelphia Eagles offense will be able to score a good amount of points on the Kansas City Chiefs defense because they score in a variety of ways on the ground and with Jalen Hurts' arm through the air. But I think that the Kansas City Chiefs have the more experience. I think Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes, they've been here before, and I think that's going to really help them out in this game. I think that the Kansas City Chiefs defense will have studied Jalen Hurts and be able to limit and slow him down a decent amount. They're not going to be able to stop him, but I think it's going to be just enough. And I think that the Kansas City Chiefs overall, they just have more experience on both sides of the ball. And I think this is going to be a great Super Bowl that goes down the wire, but I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Philadelphia Eagles 31-28 in Super Bowl 57. Subscribe to the channel if you like sports content. Like this video down below. Comment down below whether you think the Kansas City Chiefs or the Philadelphia Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl and why. And I will see you next time.